Is this the watchtower? Ether current. Ether current. Direct ladder up. Unless there's a way to get inside here. Nope. Okay. Alisaie. Nope. Alisaie is nowhere to be seen, but you spot fresh footprints on the ground and they look to be about the right size. Time to engage in the tracking mode. Small footprints lead off to the northwest. Tracking down our daughter. Small footprints. What small footprints? Footprints continue to the northwest. Whatever that is, looks weird, like a mummy sort of vibe. Just make a wide berth around those guys. The footprints curve around to the west. Yeah, okay, over here. Okay, there's like a chasm that cuts us off from... Looks like we might be able to get there eventually. Maybe this is like, hey, you unlock flying, you can cross and go into that area. Go touch the wall of light. Oh. Lots of crossing here. Something happened? Pacing? There are more tracks here, but they end in a mess of disturbed sand. Looking up at the wall of light here. Quite the sight. Sin Eater.
Get back here!
Our lady is! Holy fuck! Lass from atop the fucking tower?
Is that... It can't be.
Holy shit, lass! Oh, fucking shit, taken out. Alisaie. Oh, you get a line. Impressive, or you almost lost that one. We're not gonna say you almost lost that one. We're gonna say impressive. Both the jump from the tower and that. Like, holy... That jump from the tower, dude, that was a drop. Impressive.
Just a lesser sin eater. Nothing to write home about.
A lesser sin eater. We know nothing about sin eaters. Big sin eaters, that's the only kind of sin eater we've seen. That's a lesser one? Okay. I also meant the jump from the tower, though, Alisaie. That... I also meant the jump from the tower.
I knew you'd turn up sooner or later, but I had been hoping for sooner.
I'm sorry, lass. We came here as soon as we could. I know we made a promise, but... Also, time's funky. I don't control the time thing. I'm sorry. From my about, it was pretty fast, but, like, once again, the time difference, man. It was maybe, like, short time on the source, but longer for y'all here. Sorry. You keep glancing back over your shoulder. Turn around to look at us, Alisaie. There she is.
How are you?
Alisaie! My legs! It's been longer for her than it has been for us. Nearly a year. I'm good. Besides that one time where I almost got yoinked and was in the middle of a fight with Elidibus in possession of Xenos' body. And nearly died. Besides that, you know, we're doing good. This place, crazy though. So I tell her everything, I guess, about the current happenings, the goings-ons. Updating her on everything that's happened. Oh, walk and talk.
We've fought them to a standstill then.
Well, that and our subterfuge took root. And so they've retreated for now.
The Exarch did say that the Empire seemed to have drawn back when he last looked in on the source. But without knowing for sure how fast time was passing there, I couldn't help worrying that a lot might have happened since then.
Definitely. Like, from what he said, like, shit can fluctuate at any time. Like, at any moment, like, maybe the reverse could happen and a long time passes at the source when a short time passes here. Yeah. Also, he can I guess if he's yoinking people from across different worlds, like, maybe he can also, like, look in temporarily. Hi, Magic Man.
I'm heartily relieved to hear that it hasn't, just as Alphino must have been. As you can imagine, both he and Urianger were desperate to hear the news from home when I arrived.
Yeah, considering Alisaie was with us for the longest, like, Y'shtola and Thancred and, you know, they were all just like, and Urianger, they all passed out just as, you know, things were starting to heat up with the Empire again. So it was just like, just as we learned that the Empire was marching towards Alamigo, so they were probably just like, holy shit, like, unless the Exarch could give them more updates, like. Yeah, meanwhile, Alphino, you know, he got yoinked in the middle of his journey with Gaius. So, you know, at least Alisaie could also be like, oh yeah, about your body, it's safe. As well for Alphino. And, you know, like, Alphino, you know, like, if, you know, like, Urianger and Y'shtola and Thancred didn't know a lot was going on, so they could only update, Alphino on our side of things so much.
I haven't actually seen Thancred and Y'shtola yet, but they will have heard all the latest developments from the Exarch by now, or should have at least.
Really? You haven't seen neither Thancred or Y'shtola? You've been here for almost a year? Jesus. Is it that treacherous to make the journey?
When I think of how frantic Tataru and the others must be, I want nothing more than to rush back and reassure them.
Yeah, we were all kind of frantic because we at least know. Like, I've sent back a message to Tataru, so they at least know we're safe. You know, not knowing where you guys got yoinked to or if you were safe. You know, well, as safe as we can be out here, but you know.
But we still haven't found a way to reverse the summoning. And even if we had, we couldn't just ignore Urianger's vision.
Yeah, we were summoned here to help stop a calamity and help stop this world from being destroyed. We can't just abandon it.
He may use 10 words where one would suffice, and they may often obscure as much as they reveal.
Oh yeah, that's Urianger, yeah.
But on this matter, he was as clear as day. I do not doubt for one moment that he saw what he claims. Nor how difficult it must have been to speak about them. The 8th Umbral Calamity and your death aren't exactly topics for idle conversation.
Yeah, that's, you know, heavy-hitting shit.
As much as I might want to go home, I don't want to go home to that. We can't allow the rejoining to happen, which means we have to save the first from the Sin Eaters.
All right, I'm on board. Nod.
That great wall of white is a remnant of the flood.
Okay.
100 years ago, the balance in the first tipped decisively in favor of light. From that moment, it rose and swelled with each passing day, and then, without warning, it burst forth like water from a broken dam. A colossal wave of pure light, drowning everything in its wake. Only Norvrant was spared.
So I've heard.
For the most part, living things are composed of ether of various different aspects.
Okay.
But when exposed to such a flood, their etheric harmony is shattered, and their natural form breaks down.
So that's why everything was wiped out when the flood hit it.
Then they either perish, or are warped into mindless abominations.
Oh.
Yes, that's how the Sin Eaters came to be. They were once living creatures, or people, that were caught in the path of the flood.
Okay, so these abominations, they were once creatures or people. So some of them just die and some of them end up turning into monsters. Both creatures, animals and the like, and people also apparently. Shit.
Once the change is wrought, there is no going back. In that instant, they are gripped by an insatiable appetite for ether and will happily gorge themselves on any living thing within reach.
Oh no, man. This is some like zombie shit. For people at least.
But even
or a
that is not
werewolf.
the most of it. The stronger Sin Eaters can plant light in us, like seeds in soil, corrupting our ether and triggering the birth of new monstrosities.
Okay, so the weaker Sin Eaters can't do this, but the stronger ones can like curse basically others to become Sin Eaters by planting light in them and disturbing their etheric balance and turning them into these monsters. So like werewolves. Vampires? Werewolves, vampires, zombies, whatever, you get the idea.
They are creatures of base instinct that exist only to feed and to multiply. They feel no pity, know no remorse, and are utterly deaf to reason. Which is why they must be destroyed. Every last one of them.
Aye, aye. Certainly so. I think anybody that would be turned
infirmary is
into them
full
would
of the
agree.
Sin Eaters' victims, left here to spend their final hours waiting for the change to overtake them.
Shit. Tragic. And it's incurable in any way? I mean, if she said it, there's no way once it's taken hold, right? To cure the etheric balance. Alisaie? It's just a matter of time. More for some, less for others. Those patients will all become monsters in the end. And to add insult to injury, the afflicted are feared, shunned, cast out of society and exiled here to the edge of the world. I mean, fair enough. If you think they can turn at any moment, then yeah. One of the biggest, like, I think there's a quote or whatever that says, there's no bigger difference, like, gap between people or rift between people than the rift between the healthy and the sick. Which is understandable because a lot of diseases are contagious. That's how, anybody seen to potentially have a contagious disease in any capacity or ever gets shunned. Which is also why it's a good thing that we know so much about illnesses, nowadays, because, we know which diseases are contagious and which ones are not. Which ones are just like, Yeah, which ones are not contagious. The only good thing I have to say about this hellish place is that it has served me well as a training ground. Tesleen and the others have also been kind enough to share their knowledge of the Sin Eaters, which is knowledge I can now share with you, while you help me finish my patrol, of course. Okay, and then we're getting headgear. Alisaie would have you help her finish her patrol. Here's what we'll do. I'll take the east side of the inn and you clear the west. That way you can have an undiluted experience with the resident terrors. Undiluted experience. These marks on your map are where the usual trouble spots are. You can assume that any beast with a white hide or a carapace is a sin eater. Oh, they come in different varieties as well. There was that like image in the book that had like all the different varieties of sin eaters, and we saw in the trailer there was like one that was a lion and one that was like angelic looking. But you'll know for sure soon enough when they come slavering after your ether. Remember, it's kill or be killed with these monsters. Once you've slain whatever's prowling around there, we can rendezvous back at the north entrance. Good hunting. Alisaie's so freaking young out here risking her life against fucking sin eaters, dude. My lass. Not that she's not risking her life before and for other things, but still, my lass. Surveying. Oh, fuck, it's one of them. Forgiven cowardice. I feel like they've added like a little bit of a glow around the edges of the AoEs. Alright, one Sin Eater down. She takes on the Sin Eater herself. Oh, it's nothing. Yeah, that's all I'll say for you, man. I think Tesleen was right in that she compares herself a lot to us. You know, she's also had many lines in the past where it's just like, you know, like, where she's not strong enough, or she's just like, oh, it's nothing compared to, you know, you. All right, this spot clear. Okay, here we go, another one. Alright. Presence of mind here so we can cast faster. Boom chakalaka. Alright, patrol complete. We got the west side, Alisaie. All clear. Or at least as all clear as we can be. Alright, Alisaie. How did you fare? Two of them. I thought there might be one or two lurking on the fridges. Nothing out of the ordinary for this area. I expect you noticed it yourself, but individually these lesser sin eaters are no more deadly than any natural predator you might encounter in the desert. It's when they appear in numbers that they pose a threat. Much like the void scent, they have an unfortunate tendency to flock to the strongest of their kind. Okay, so it's like when a stronger one comes around and they like flock like in a pack. Okay. Thus, when a powerful sin eater goes on the hunt, it might be attended by a veritable swarm of weaker kin. Imagine an army of such creatures descending on a village or hamlet. Oh no. Dude, no wonder it's so dangerous to fucking travel here. Why the Crystarium is so armed. And like they said that the freaking Exarch could put up an entire shield around the fucking city. Like if a swarm like that just tried to descend on the city, no wonder. I'd also be like, yeah, I'm just gonna stay at the Crystarium, dude. That's the basic idea behind my patrols. To call their ranks often enough that their numbers won't be overwhelming when the big ones come out to play. Good strategy. And you've certainly helped on that front. Report our victories to Tesleen, let's report our victories to Tesleen, shall we? Alright, Tesleen, we found her. Also, I'll say, by the way, apparently you've been telling stories of me. She hasn't been telling you stories, has she? Oh, gods. No, not that much, just how you've spoken about me. Oh, gods. Alisaie tells me you helped out on a patrol. You have our thanks, and my apologies for leading you from one battle to another ever since the moment we met. It's okay. It's par for the course. Being led from one battle to another. In any case, I'm glad to see the two of you found each other. You have no idea how badly Alisaie has missed your company. Everything is always, if Kelwyn were here, she would. Alisaie. Really, like, I asked her who Kelwyn was, and she's just like, yeah, she's this hero that looks exactly like this. But she was just like, if Kelwyn were here, she would do this, or if only Kelwyn were here, or, you know, Kelwyn wouldn't have problems with this, etc. That's an exaggeration. I don't sound like that either. I was simply trying to view matters from another perspective. And I respect Kelwyn's methods. Alisaie. I don't sound like that either. Honestly, after seeing her in action, I can understand why. Oh, seeing me in action, yeah. The way she leaps into the fray without hesitation, it really is something to behold. I might be a little smitten myself. Alisaie, you smitten? Cute. Just a gasp. Smitten. I'm only teasing. I have no doubt she deserves all the admiration she gets, just as you do. Complete. This is what I get for sharing. Maybe I'll just head out on another patrol. Alright. Hold on, let's switch over to Summoner here. And we shall take this headpiece. Okay. We'll hide that headpiece. Alright. And then back over to White Mage for the time being. Tesleen has the air of a woman being pulled in 10 directions at once. I'd love to lay out a welcome meal, but the duties I put off when I went to the market are still waiting for me. If you have a crush on someone, you tend to keep speaking about them. Yeah, fair enough. But then everyone speaks highly of the Warrior of Light, yeah. I mean, we are heroes. But yeah, Alisaie in particular does really look up to us. But you know, I'm of the mind of more of like a like if you want a headcanon crush, then yeah, that could be headcanon crush. But I'm more of the mind of like Alisaie and Alphino have always been like, it's like a little brother or little sister kind of vibe. And that they really look up to the Warrior of Light. But yeah, I love Alisaie and Alphino. They're great. Alright. There are 101 things that need doing. I'm sorry, but would you mind waiting here with Alisaie? What, and twiddle our thumbs while you work yourself to death? Surely there's something we can help you with. Yeah, leave it to us, we'll help. I could do with a hand, it's true. Thank you. You can start by helping me sort out the larder, Alisaie. While we do that, could you tend to a few patients, perhaps? There are 3 in particular I'm meant to visit. It's just a matter of saying a few words to them and seeing that their skin isn't caked in sand. Their names are Parnell, Toten, and Hark. They may not give much in the way of response, but I promise they'll be pleased to meet someone new. Right, Tesleen, anything else to say? It will do them good to see a new face. There's not much in the way of novelty around here to distract them from their worries. Alisaie, I would speak more of the subject of sin eaters, but let's see these tasks finished first. Okay, also, side quests. Yeah, brotherly / sisterly love towards the player character, definitely. Definitely. I love my younger siblings, so I often have to say my son and my daughter. Because they are. They're great. So, I mean, like, I guess you could like a lot of people, like, you can headcanon whatever age you want for your Warrior of Light. Though I don't know if there's a lot of, like, aged... Like, there's no aging option, so... But, I mean, like, if you're Viera or anything like that, like... There could also definitely be, like, a motherly or fatherly. Like, a lot of the races are very long-lived, so you can also get, you know, that sort of vibe as well. Yeah, I love my precious children. Alisaie and Alphino. Alright, Wilfer. Wilford has the expression of a man awaiting imminent disaster. Excuse me, but I was wondering if you could help. One of the merchants from Mordsuk is on his way, bringing much-needed supplies. The problem is the wares we are offering exchange have yet to arrive. If it were anyone else, they could be persuaded to wait, but this particular Mord has a reputation for being extremely impatient. He's even been known to call off deals over the smallest of quibbles. I'd be grateful if you could find out what causes this delay. While you search for the porter, I'll try to buy some time. Many thanks. Delivery is expected to come from the southwest. Godspeed. The merchant will be here in a moment now. I wonder if I could interest him in a cup of tea. Or else I'm going to switch over to Summoner for these side quests. Lamond? Lamond has a job to do and he's hoping you will do it for him. Looking for work by chance? I'm supposed to be draining water out of plants with these siphons, but I could use some help. As you probably noticed, the whole area is lousy with all those hostile creatures, which means this is not a job for the faint of heart. I'd be fine and if siphoning water didn't take so long. While I'm waiting, I'm easy prey. If you go my place, I'll see that you're properly rewarded. Need eyes in the back of your head to do this job. Seems like you know how to handle yourself, though. Okay, then here we have Bleary-Eyed Guard. The Bleary-Eyed Guard appears to be suffering from a lack of sleep. You're one of Alisaie's friends, aren't you? I hear you lot have a knack for putting down troublesome beasts. Indeed. I'm not sure if that includes the supernatural, but walking courses, supposed to be corpses or courses known as gillmen have been running amok outside of the south entrance. Yeah, I saw those guys on the way. Creepy. They grab anyone who wanders too close and drag them under the sand. I almost fell victim to them myself and was lucky to escape. Thing is, I dropped my mother's pendant as I fled, and I'll do anything to get it back. She was a patient here, you see, and it's all I have to remember her by. Luckily, we found that enchanted darts shot from a blowgun and the gillmen back to whichever hell they crawled from. My plan is to rush in and grab the pendant while you shoot those undead bastards from a distance, so will you help me? Okay. I know you would. Come on, let's get this over with. I think the official default age for the Warrior of Light is around early 20s, but yeah, early 20s is nothing to a Viera player, yeah. I didn't know, like, I would imagine, I think the official, based on the canon ages of the other characters and probably wanting to be around those ages, I would imagine the Warrior of Light is probably canonically somewhere in their 20s for the standard races. But, like, yeah, for Viera and other long-lived races like that, you could go wherever you want with it. Also, like, Thancred is like, I don't know, 30-something or something, isn't that? 30 or something? He's around that age, so I would say, you know, probably, like, you could be, like, early 30s for the Warrior of Light as well. I think that would probably stick. You know, if you're looking for, like, the most accurate canonical thing. But honestly, you can headcanon whatever you want. Alright, Renrick. Renrick has more than his share of concerns, the morale of his men chief among them. Psst. Do you have a moment? Please keep this to yourself, but one of my men has been acting strangely of late. As I'm sure you can appreciate, there are certain things that the guards here, myself included, may not wish to discuss openly. I hope that you, as an outsider, may be able to find out what is troubling him. He is currently stationed a short distance south from here. If you could lend him your ear, I'll be most grateful. I'll not pretend that our life here is a happy one. We must grasp what scant joy we can. Okay, that's for the Bane quest. Alright, here is the guy who wants us to dart these guys. I'm fairly certain I dropped the pendant by those ruins over there. As soon as I found it, I'll race back to the inn. In the meantime, I'll need you to keep the Gilman off my back. Here goes nothing. If any Gilman appear, shoot them with the enchanted darts. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out, target the Gilman, and use the left click for the blowgun. Okay. Yes, one of these quests. I missed him. Did I get him? What the fuck? I'm hitting them. Dude, this is what is this? This is bullshit. I'm hitting them. Okay, maybe it's just that I have to, it has to be like this, where, nope. Nope. What fucking bullshit is this? Okay. Alright, well, that's done with. Here we go. This is the porter that we were looking for that got delayed. Oh, God. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. Is there something you want? You the porter? Wilfred sent you? Oh, bloody hells. Am I that far behind schedule? Anyways, these sacks contain half of the deal. Well, maybe a bit more than that. I got carried away and brought too much to carry myself. It's a miracle I made it this far. Do you think you could help me cover the last stretch of the journey? Not far to go now, and these things are heavy, so watch your back. Remember, bend at the knees. Transfer the sack to the expected moored merchant at the inn and journey's head within the allotted time. You'll have 60 seconds to complete the task. Should you fail, return to the starting location and begin anew. Be wary of attacks from enemies, which will sap your strength. Okay, here we go. Wide berth around the enemies there to a certain degree. Alright, past the bleary-eyed guard here. Here we are.
Late. If your friend did not pour such delicious tea, I would have taken my wares back to Mortsuk. Next time, you won't be so lucky.
Just in time, Wilfred. Good job with the tea. Good job with the tea. That was a near thing if I ever saw one. I dread to think what we'd do without these supplies. Although I must say, I didn't expect that you would end up carrying the goods here yourself. The sack was full of adobe bricks, you know. It's no problem. We're strong. Considering that they're only made from clay mixed with water and straw, they lasted an incredibly long time. Even those excavated from the ruins are still perfectly adequate for building work. In fact, the more plan to use them in repairing their windmills. Still, bricks are bricks, far from the easiest thing to carry over long distances. Perhaps next time we'll send more than one person to transport them. Yeah, the guy was struggling. Now that I think about it, this whole thing was poorly planned. We're lucky we had you to help us on this occasion. Hopefully it won't happen again. Nope, not if you plan better. Alright, and you. Sorry about my failure the first time. Those guys are apparently blighters to hit. Haha, they didn't like that very much, did they? And best of all, I got the pendant. Nice. Good job, dude. Do you know I've never seen such a fine arm with a blowgun? Nope. I mean, it was quite a distance, so... But yeah. The secret, though, lies in the darts. They were excavated from the ruins of Nabath Rang. According to the historians, these same darts were used by the Nabath to destroy Gilman all those years ago. There were whole stockpiles of things, in fact. Anyway, that's enough about ancient history for one day. More importantly, I'd like to thank you for all you've done. Please accept this as thanks and give Alisaie my regards. Will do. Journey-head lookout. We're surrounded by remnants of old the Nabath Empire. Some even say the Gilman are wandering souls of their dead. You know, I've always felt this is no place for the living. Yeah, this place is bad news bears. Especially that being close to this wall of light here. Okay, we need to use the brass siphon on the giant succulent to siphon water. Crafted for a very specific purpose and entirely useless for absolutely everything else. Alright, boom shakalaka. Let's also head out south here to talk to the guy that the guard guy is concerned about. Alright, timid guard, hello. You troubled kid? What brings you all the way out here? So, you've been talking to Renric. Well, if you must know, I was thinking about leaving this place. Fair enough, dude, fair enough. It was all getting too much for me, and I felt like I was losing my mind one day at a time. Yeah, this kind of work can be tough on the heart, yeah. Me and one of the others were planning on making a clean break, putting the inn behind us. But after seeing you and Alisaie, I changed my mind. What? What did we do? Off fighting the seniors? I'm staying here, at least for the time being. Could you give a message to my friend? He's the one I was going to run away with. A Galgent chap. I think that was a Rogadin, right? I don't know. I'm not sure exactly where he'll be, but the watchman southeast of the inn should know. Tell him that I'm staying. I'd go myself, but I can't abandon my post. Please, I've got to let him know. I can't stand the thought of leaving him there to wait for me. At least if he knows I'm not going, he can make up his own mind about whether to stay or to go. Alright, he's up this way somewhere, maybe behind this wall. Oh, doesn't this just drop off into the abyss? Nonchalant watchman. Oh, never mind. Galgent or the aura. Shoot. Might have to remember these. All right. Oh, nope, I was right. Nope, never mind. This wasn't it. I might still be right. Hold on.
Galgent bloke on patrol. You just missed him, I'm afraid. Said he wanted a breath of fresh air, so he went for a stroll. I tried telling him the air is no fresher up there than it is here, but would he listen? Would he bullocks? Anyway, last I saw he was heading north. Any luck? Knowing him, he's probably went and strolled right over the side of a cliff or something.
Some more of these creature bones. Dead. Fallen guard. And I was right. Galgent were Rogadin. I remember you. One of Alisaie's friends. And is indeed me.
thought so. That's why I left. By myself. Reckon I'd get a bit further before being attacked by beasts, though. Just my bloody luck. Can you tell him I went alone? I got away. Wouldn't want him to blame himself.
You're not dying, are you, kid? I have healing magics. Hold on, I'll switch classes.
It's my own fault. He was set on staying, but I talked him into leaving. I should have listened.
There's no response, it's just a corpse. Well, he died. Well, just leave that guy there, apparently. Just leave the corpse there. Tragic. I wouldn't want to... I don't think I wouldn't want to lie to him, though. It's better that he knows the truth, right? I mean, it might cause him heartache, but, like, what if he tries to seek to reunite with his friend? You know? I don't know. Is it better to know the truth in these kinds of situations? If it were me, I would like to be told the truth. So, did you give him the message? Yes. You left him running by himself, or he's gone? Both of these are more or less the same, but he's gone. When you say it like that, it sounds almost as if... Oh. I see. Still, I stand by my decision. Is the right thing to do. I know it. Come to think of it, Renric is probably wondering what's going on. If it's not too much to ask, would you mind speaking with him? All right. Let's hand these in, then let's hand these in. Alright, first lemon. Here's the water from the succulent plant or whatever you wanted. Finished already. Sweet-smelling succulent secretions, as in the secretions of a succulent rather than secretions that are succulent. Okay. Impressive. Are you sure you haven't done this before? Maybe we have in some capacity. Now you might be wondering why we'd go through the effort of siphoning the plants. There are easier ways to get water after all. Well, this stuff has a certain sweetness that comes in handy when making medicines. They tend to taste quite bitter, so this takes the edge off. Not that it makes the treatments any more effective, but the patients certainly seem to appreciate it. You have our thanks. Yeah, if it doesn't make it more effective, but it makes it more pleasant for the patient, then it's worth it. Alright, Renric, we have good news and we have bad news. Guy's staying, but another guy's dead. Is that so? It's better than both of them being killed. We should be thankful for small mercies. In any case, I appreciate what you've done for us. Alright. Let's go back on White Mage. Let's continue with the main story questing by checking on these patients here. Paul Mill? Thank you. Godden? Don't mind me, just gonna help you out here. Dot 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 dot. Complete silence. Taunton glances up at you blankly, but you notice the tension in his face ease slightly. They get more reticent as the shit takes over. This guy, just small lad. Holrick remains utterly still as you wipe the sand from his cheek. The texture of his skin has hardened into something akin to plaster. Oy, okay, funky? Funky? Is that why he's so pale and white? Just like, well, that shit's, that's something. Alisaie? Your work is done then, yes. Tesleen? You've seen to the patients? How were they? Two of them seemed grateful enough, but, yeah, the Holrick lad. Good. That's good. I knew they would enjoy meeting you. Okay. I'm concerned about Holrick, though. I'll have to speak with one of the other carers, but I think his time may be near. We shall leave you to have that discussion then. I was going to take Kelwyn to Mord Sook if you have any errands there that need doing. Well, I suppose there is one thing. Would you pick up a nectarine from the markets, please? Cassard's caravan just passed through, so Ron should have some fresh fruit. Come then, Kelwyn. There's something I want you to see, right after we stop at Ron's stall, of course. Right, Tesleen? Oh, my jobs are all under control now, thank you. Go and spend some time with Alisaie. Alright. It's a bit of a walk. We'll just teleport. Not that long enough of a walk, but we can just teleport. Alright, here we are. Alisaie, let's see about that nectarine, shall we? Oh, back again, are you? You need another taste of Ron's wares? Actually, we're looking to buy nectarine. Do you have any in stock? Oh yes, nectarines, peaches, grapes, fresh and juicy. Given how richly you cracked your coin purse with me, I might still owe you food. Here, take this one, free of charge. Thank you. Gods, I've never seen a Mord merchant give away something for nothing before. How much coin did you spend here? Okay, listen, Alisaie, I'm gonna hush this, because the last time we mentioned this, the fucking merchant swore me, but the expert gave us like a Voidberg gold piece. I don't know what that means, but apparently it's fucking rich shit. Oh yes, I'll take a jar of honeyed worms as well. I'm sorry, the worms? Oh, no, they're not from me. It's an offering of sorts. Okay, alright. The worms, if you please. Only the best regulars for you. Come again, my friends. Right. That's our shopping tours taken care of. Let's head up past the 8th right to the main tower. The view I want to show you can only be seen from its top. Hey, Ron. Pleasure. Alright. That tower? She said past the 8th right. Here are your precious worms. That buys us a trip to the top of the tower, does it not? Oh, we're bribing the guard to be like, hey, listen. Glazed regulars? You actually bought them.
I really shouldn't let you, but just this once, all right? Only once.
Never fails. Only once, but Alisaie's apparently doing this multiple times. Shall we?
Look, over there, where the wall is broken.
Okay.
Do you see what lies beyond?
Wasteland of white. Snow?
That's what the land became after the light flooded in. An empty white nothingness.
Okay, not snow. Wow, just like complete and utter destruction, just like completely razed of all life.
Life cannot exist in such conditions. The primordial light would wreak havoc on the body's etheric balance.
Fair enough. I think maybe some creatures might. Life finds a way, man. You'd be fucking surprised. I mean, we're out in the fucking wasteland, White Sands desert of the burn or whatever, and there's apparently like almost completely devoid of ether, but there's still fucking critters fucking basking around in there. So I mean, like, I guess most of the critters basking around in that wasteland would be sin eaters, which wouldn't necessarily count as life in this case, but abominations. And I guess if there's lots of sin eaters out there, then yeah, anything lifelike might just be like yoinked because they eat ether, right?
That nectarine you bought. It's Halric's favorite fruit.
Okay. Can treat him to nectarines before the end. Oh, I pull out the nectarine to look at it, I guess.
Most of the patients, Halric included, survived the attacks of powerful eaters. But their fate was sealed all the same. The monster's corruption has entered their bodies, and their very essence is being subsumed by light.
Like a slow-acting poison.
The twisted state of the world itself just makes matters worse. Under normal circumstances, a person's ether naturally tends to equilibrium. But for these poor souls, the opposite is true.
So because because the light, the primordial light has been tipped in this world already, their souls are a little bit, you know, it's troublesome. Or maybe it makes the disease go faster.
Sooner or later, every single one of them will turn. Tesleen and the patients, they all know this. They know what has to be done before the change goes too far, before the eater within takes over. The preferred method is mixing poison into their favorite food.
They have to kill them, yeah.
In my time here, I've borne witness to a lot of last meals.
Tragedy, but must be done. So they're here to make it their end as comfortable as possible, and then take him out when need be. Sad.
I feel just as helpless as before. No matter how hard I fight, it's never enough.
You're one person, Alisaie. We can't be everywhere at once. There will always be someone in need of saving. And sometimes there's just nothing you can do. Sometimes things are beyond your control. It's frustrating and it's tragic, but sometimes that just be how it be. You do your best. You save many by your actions. We can't save everyone, but the ones we save be enough.
But it's a war I mean to wage, nonetheless. Speaking of wars, do you remember how I made you promise not to leave me and then promptly collapsed?
Well, it wasn't immediately that promptly, but you know, at least I'm glad I'm glad that, you know, at least you got to go here where the other scions were. You know, I'm glad that it was you if anybody had to collapse in that situation, I'm glad it was you that collapsed and not me that just got fucking taken away and left her alone on the battlefield with Garlean. Especially since Xenos was out there. If we got yoinked at that point of time, most likely maybe like he and Lise and Yugiri that were all out there fighting Xenos before we got there would have maybe died.
Well, let's just
flashback.
say I had a few choice words for the Exarch concerning the timing of his summons.
So I heard, Alisaie, so I heard. Just after we made that promise.
But even if the fault lay with someone else, I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd abandon you on the battlefield.
Alisaie. Once again, though, rather if someone had to go there, rather it be you than me. Not because you're less capable, but because you're young, lass. I wouldn't want to left you alone. Also, there are powerful enemies there, and you know, it's not that you aren't capable, but you're not like the blessed champion. You know what I'm saying? You know. Yeah, we were kind of alone, but you know, like we had other allies, you know, like yeah, we didn't have a scion backup, but we had friends there. Hien, Lise, Yugiri, Raubon. We weren't alone.
So I swore that I'd make up for my absence there by making a difference here.
Thanks, Alisaie.
And that's what keeps me moving forward, even when things seem hopeless.
Yeah.
On which note, it's time we headed back. The longer we keep Tesleen waiting, the harder this will be for her.
Another settlement over there with an Aetheryte over the hills. I don't think we'll be able to get there till flying. I think it's like this zone, and then like we're cut off from the rest of the zone until we get flying, I guess. All right, Alisaie. I'm glad to see I'm glad I was able to show you that. When it comes to understanding the catastrophe which befell the first, one glimpse of the empty wasteland beyond the wall is worth more than an hour of Urianger's lecturing. And I need you to know, beyond a doubt, that Tesleen has no other choice. That nectarine will be a kindness. Dude, if I'm a healer and I looked over those guys and it was just like, oh fuck, their ethers all like all things or whatever, like, yeah, there'd be no other choice if they were gonna turn. You know, I think they would be happy to be taken out. They wouldn't want to become a monster. The nectarine will be a kindness. It isn't just the threat posed to others. When a person becomes an eater, the pain appears to be excruciating. Oh no. Okay. The carers are truly fond of their wards and would spare them that suffering. It is their way of fighting back against a fate worse than death. Excruciating pain. Poor souls.